bucka. Haha. You know the deal.
The next thing we're going to talk about with measurement are units of volume, capacity, and mass. We've already talked a little bit about units of volume, and here I've got a few examples of units of volume. So the first unit of volume that we have here is centimeters cubed, and a centimeter cubed, of course, is a cube. That's 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter. Another example of a unit of volume is a decimeter cubed, and a decimeter cubed is a cube. That's 1 decimeter by 1 decimeter by 1 decimeter. Now, 1 decimeter is 10 centimeters. So if we looked at the length, width, and height of this cube in centimeters, it's 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters. This is 1 decimeter cubed. If we're going to calculate the volume of this cube in centimeters cubed, it's 10 times 10 times 10. So 1 decimeter cubed is 1,000 centimeters cubed. So you can see here that cubic units of volume, converting them works a little bit differently than linear units. So 1 decimeter is 10 centimeters, but 1 decimeter cubed is 1,000 centimeters cubed. Similarly, here we have a meter cubed, which is 1 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter. Well, 1 meter is 10 decimeters. So if we were going to calculate the volume of this cube in decimeters cubed, we would multiply length times width times height. 10 times 10 times 10 is 1,000. So 1 meter cubed is 1,000 decimeters cubed. So the next thing we're going to talk about are units of capacity. Capacity is very similar to volume in that it measures the size of a three-dimensional shape. But usually when we're looking at capacity, we're looking at the amount of liquid that can fit into a shape. So for example, when you buy a carton of milk at the store, the amount of milk that's in that carton is not usually measured in centimeters cubed. It's usually measured in maybe milliliters or liters. So we're going to talk a little bit about milliliters, liters, and kiloliters. The nice thing about the metric system is the terminology in the metric system works very much the same for all sorts of types of units. So, for example, if we have 1 meter, well, in 1 meter we have 1,000 millimeters. Similarly, if we're measuring liquid, if we have 1 liter, say 1 liter of milk, in 1 liter we have 1,000 milliliters. And if I have a kiloliter, well, a kiloliter we can think of like a kilometer. And in 1 kilometer there are 1,000 meters. Well, in 1 kiloliter there are 1,000 liters. So these units work very much the same as linear units. So going back to our units of volume here, there's actually a connection between units of volume and units of capacity. If we have 1 centimeter cubed of liquid, that's the same as 1 milliliter of liquid. So going to the next unit, if I have 1,000 centimeters cubed, that means a centimeter cubed is really the same as a milliliter. So if I have 1,000 centimeters cubed, that means I have 1,000 milliliters. And as we just discussed, 1,000 milliliters is 1 liter. So if we have 1 decimeter cubed of liquid, that's 1 liter of liquid. So a decimeter cubed is essentially the same as a liter. Well, if I have 1,000 decimeter cubes, that means I have 1,000 liters. And if I have 1,000 liters, that's 1 kiloliter. So 1 meter cubed of liquid is the same as 1 kiloliter of liquid. So the next thing we're going to talk about is mass, which mass is just another word for weight. And there is a connection between units of volume, units of capacity, and weight or mass. Now the thing here is when we're talking about mass here, we're talking about the mass of water. So if I have 1 centimeter cubed of water, that means I have 1 milliliter of water, and that actually weighs 1 gram. So all of these are equivalent. 1 centimeter cubed is the same as 1 milliliter, which is the same as 1 gram, as long as we're talking about water. Of course, if we have 1 centimeter cubed of air, that's not going to weigh 1 gram. Well, just like linear units and units of capacity, units of mass work very much the same way in the metric system. If I have 1,000 milliliters, that means I have 1,000 grams of water. Well, 1,000 grams is the same as 1 kilogram. So if I have 1 decimeter cubed of water, I have 1 kilogram of water. Going down to meters cubed, if I have 1,000 decimeters cubed, that means I have 1,000 kilograms. 1,000 kilograms in the metric system has a special name. It's called 1 metric ton. So 1,000 kilograms is the same as 1 ton. So just to review, and this is something that you're definitely going to want to include in your notes, an example of a unit of volume is a centimeter cubed. If I have 1 centimeter cubed, that's equivalent to 1 milliliter. It's the same thing. So these are the same. If I have 1 milliliter of water, that weighs 1 gram. Well, if I have 1 decimeter cubed, that means I have 1,000 centimeters cubed, which means I have 1,000 milliliters. And 1,000 milliliters is the same as 1 liter. So 1 decimeter cubed is the same as 1 liter. And if I have 1 liter of water, that weighs 1 kilogram. If I have 1 meter cubed, that means I have 1,000 decimeters cubed. And if I have 1,000 decimeters cubed, I have 1,000 liters. And 1,000 liters is the same as 1 kiloliter. If I have 1 kiloliter in the metric system, a kiloliter is the same as 1 metric ton of water. So it's important to note all of these units of mass are all for water only. So to finish off today, I want you to try to convert a couple of units here. So the first one we have is 5 kilograms. So if we have 5 kilograms, I want you to think of how many grams that is. And if you're not 100% sure, think about how many kilometers are in a meter. For number 2, I have 2,500 or 2,500 milliliters. I want to know how many liters that is. And again, if you get confused, think about how many millimeters are in a meter. For the next one, we're converting different units. We've got a unit of volume, so I have 475 centimeters cubed, and I want to know how many milliliters that is. And for the last one, we're going to do 2 conversions. If you have 12 liters of water, I want to know what the mass is in kilograms, and then change that kilograms into grams.